We're three millennial Latina first-time moms and entrepreneurs who connected at the start of our radio careers. From partying at nightclubs to figuring out Nightfeeds, we've been friends for 14 years.
We're not experts, just honest moms navigating motherhood together, from pregnancy and the newborn stage to toddlerhood, one phase at a time.
We're excited to share what we've learned, what we wish we'd known, and everything in between.
Welcome to Nightclubs to Nightfeeds. Episode 17, which is going to be the best episode ever.
We got vesties.
We got vesties. Yay, vesties.
Krystal and I are wearing matching vests because vests are very in this spring.
Well, like,
you know?
we didn't even...
And
okay,
summer.
So here's the thing. Here, we're going to spill some tea about this podcast. Like, the first few episodes, we were coordinating what we were going to wear.
Yes.
And then we were like, this is lame. We need to just wear whatever we feel comfortable.
Yes.
And so we have not been coordinating what we're going to wear. And we somehow are coordinating.
I know.
That
it's
is
so funny.
So cute
I love
of
that
us.
for us.
Yeah, we're like kind of in sync. And I love that for us.
Bye, bye, bye.
Exactly. Okay, but the best episode ever, episode 17, the sleep episode.
Yes.
A lot to cover.
Girl.
Let's try to run through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start straight with the heavy hitter.
Yes.
Co-sleep versus no co-sleep.
Yeah.
Nicole, you are the only co-sleeper.
Yes.
I am the co-sleeper.
So speak on it, girl.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't trying to co-sleep.
Okay.
From jump, like we mentioned, we didn't. You guys are really besties. So cute.
Seriously.
Yeah, we didn't try to from jump. We had issues where I couldn't put him down. He cried and cried and cried, and I just couldn't. And for survival, for me, I was like, I need to go to sleep. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're just gonna be sleeping with me here,
Especially during that time. Like,
Yeah.
you're already so weak. You're already so really, like, whatever is going to get it done.
Yeah.
We have to do it. Because I think it's easier for parents who are not going through that to be like, why don't you just stick with it? Why don't you just this? You don't know how that time, like, A, is a mind fuck, and B, you're just like, I need sleep.
Yeah. And it sounds crazy. And I've dealt with a lot of shame from so many people. But I literally fell asleep with him in my arms for the first, like, month. And, like, having to prop up pillows.
In your bed.
In my bed.
yourself up.
Yes. Like, but I'm such a light sleeper, too. And I wasn't afraid that I would, like, roll on him. Or, like, I wasn't afraid that.
That would terrify me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a heavy sleeper, and I could sleep. Obviously, I'm already so tired in that time frame, but I remember the few times I was, like, dozing off with him, even breastfeeding, and be like, oh my God, I'm going to fall asleep. Because I will fall asleep, and I will stay asleep.
Hard.
Like, I'm a heavy sleeper.
Well, that's
why you got a good sleeper.
Exactly. Because I'm such a light sleeper.
Same.
I think, let me just jump into this now.
Oh my gosh.
Okay?
Wait, but
you
I do
brought a book?
Oh my.
I brought a book, ladies and gentlemen.
Why won't you sleep?
Why won't you sleep? So reading this book has helped me so much. And one of the things I learned is that however the sleep temperament of the parent is usually how one of the children is going to be. Yeah.
So you think really because I am a deep, heavy sleeper
1,000%.
Interesting.
For anyone who doesn't know, Krystal has an incredible sleeper.
Yes.
Since day one.
Yes.
Yeah, since early on. But I really attributed it to the Snoo because we did the Snoo.
So we had the Snoo too. And I will say that we did co-sleep in the beginning because I had a baby that refused to be put down. And I didn't realize until seeing other babies that, like, some are just okay being put down.
Yeah.
Because I just thought every baby was like this. Like, of course every baby hates being put down, you know?
You said that on an episode in the past. Like, of course babies being put down. When you said that, I was like, they do?
Yeah, because you have such a great sleeper.
Because he did not mind being put down. And when you said that, I was just quiet because I was like,
you're like,
I guess I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, no, she hated it. And so we had the Snoo. The reason why she wasn't sleeping in the beginning, similar with Nikki's talked about before, is like she wasn't getting enough food. So that was issue number one. Once we fixed that issue, then she didn't want to be she didn't want to be anywhere that wasn't me at night, especially, but for naps too. So during the day, I would carry her around in the carrier, and then at nighttime, I attempted every time to put her down. Eventually, we were like, we just need sleep, but I was too scared to hold her. And at that time, I didn't realize what a light sleeper I was because I used to be a heavier sleeper. And then I got pregnant. And then since then, I've been a super light sleeper. So
even during your pregnancy?
Yeah, even during my pregnancy.
I would be out like a light. I would sleep so good during pregnancy.
I love that.
So what we did was Drew, my husband, for those of you that do not know, he is the king of deals, okay? He will look for a great deal. And so he loves Marshall's, Ross. He is the king of that shit, okay?
He used to get a deal with them.
Oh, my God.
Like a sponsorship or a brand deal.
Oh, my God, that would be his dream.
Come through Marshall's.
So he went to Marshall's and he was like, we need to find a solution. Like, what is this? And so
the solution's at Marshall's? I love how he's
this.
like, we're going to Marshall's to find our sleeping problem solution.
Wow. Because he was like, you're on Amazon, you're looking at all these things. And like, you know, so he ended up finding a travel bassinet, which at the time when he brought it home, I was like, what are we going to use that for? And then, then we have, you know, I'm like, then we have this issue. And I was too afraid to put her in the Snuggle Me because I had heard so many things. And I was too scared at that age.
I have no clue what that is.
It's the one that's like a big pillow, but it has like the hole, not a hole, but like a little pouch in the middle where they just like lay easier. It's basically like a lounger. It's kind of like the DockATot, right?
Yeah, like a DockATot.
The Snuggle Me, when Poppy was born, like there had just been some lawsuits against that. Then the DockATot, they had discontinued some of them because of the sleeping and it not being safe. And so I was too scared to put her in both of those when she was really small and like couldn't lift her head, like newborn week 1, 2, 3, right? So the travel bassinet, I was like, oh, this is perfect because it has mesh sides and we could put it in the middle of us so she still knows that I'm right here, but I can't roll over onto her and she's like in her safe little thing. So that's what we used for probably the whole first month because she would not sleep in the Snoo at night. She would sometimes do naps in there, but absolutely not at night. And I double swaddled her. I tried all the settings on the Snoo.
Double?
Yeah, I didn't know you could double swaddle in a Snoo.
Because the Snoo has its own swaddle, right?
Yeah.
And because we had borrowed it, the swaddles like were kind of looser.
Big.
And so, and that baby was bigger than Poppy, like she was tiny. And so one of my girlfriends who had a tiny baby too was like, oh,
swaddle
like
first.
Yeah, swaddle first because she'd just be getting thrown around in there if she's like
oh,
just rattling in there because she literally was under 6 pounds like that first week. And so when I put her in there and I saw the thing, I was like, oh, I think I need to take it down a notch, you know. And so she was not down at nighttime. The minute we would put her down, the minute we turn off the lights, it was like immediately screaming, crying. And so the travel bassinet really did save us. And I got it for one of my friends too when she had her baby because she was a co-sleeper. And I was like, maybe this is the safer way. Like, I don't know. I'm a little scared.
You're so type A.
I'm so anxious. Like, I could not do, I physically could not fall asleep with her in my arms because I was so anxious.
Yeah. Wow.
So like, how did you ever feel that anxiety
No anxiety. And we just talked about it in the green room saying I was so naive in like the first pregnancy. Like I didn't know. I'm saying it as if I'm pregnant now, which I'm not. But I was really naive. I didn't have worries at all. Like I didn't think about worst possible scenarios at all. I was just like,
did you ever see those? Because I feel like what set me over the edge was like all the TikTok videos about like accidents with co-sleeping.
I blocked all of that.
Every time they came up, I didn't
see those, but any video that would like send me off into like not positive thinking, I'm like blocking it all. Like,
I did that too, but I would get served that stuff and that stuff would just send me over the edge. Like, okay,
I never saw that stuff. For me, it was like, it was survival. There was no other scenario for me to get any sleep other than holding my child.
So at what point did you guys say, F it, we're just going to go with the co-sleeping? Like, how long did you guys try?
Zaire had no say in it. He was like, because I was the one that was at home with Saint.
All three of you were in the bed together?
All three of us. And we still are. Okay. Even with Saint being 2 years old. And so this spring, though, summer. Oops, I was supposed to start it in spring. This summer is when we're transitioning. I'm going to start transitioning him into his own bed, and which is hence why I got this book.
Yeah. His own bed in his own room.
Which he does. He already has.
He does naps there, right?
He does naps in his own bed. And so I now have to do the transition of him in his own, which I think will also go hand in hand with weaning off. Breast.
Because how does he nap in his own room in a toddler bed where he's not in a crib anymore?
If I'm putting him to sleep, I nurse him to sleep.
And he falls asleep on your boob, then you lay him down?
Then I'm like off of me and then just putting. I'm in the bed with him. And I just, then I roll away. Like every other TikTok video.
Roll away.
I roll away. And then if my mom naps him, then she takes him for a walk. And then she transitions him. Well, she usually does it like on the living room couch.
She'll transfer him.
And he'll sleep.
He's still
but we noticed that there's like a magic sweet spot between the first like 10 minutes that he's knocked out, so we could transfer him only in those 10 minutes. Where you could
like put the arm and it's like, okay, now I know you're really out.
And he'll stay knocked out, but only in those 10 minutes. Anything after that, he'll wake up. Yeah, and it's hard. But another reason also is because he sweats so much, and so I'm worried this summer of how the nighttime is going to be. So I'm just like, we just got to roll with it.
With last summer, what did you guys do for that? Because he was sweating even then. So it's like the AC just blasting.
And then AC you guys are all, do you have a king bed, queen bed?
You have a king bed. Okay. We also got cooling sheets. Cooling sheets worked wonders.
Okay.
He still sweat though, but it wasn't as much. So I mean, we'll see.
Do you feel like, because I feel as somebody who gets like night sweats postpartum, like, does he make you sweaty? Because I feel like I just like can't.
No,
with the body heat.
Sweaty.
Yeah, with the body heat.
I was sweaty postpartum early on, but I've never really been a sweaty type of person, so I'm not. Yeah, at all.
Got it. Do you so I feel like, okay, Krystal, you and I both did the Snoo.
Yes.
And
that was the only swaddling that I did was the Snoo swaddle. Okay. I wouldn't thank God
he would never get out of the zippered one?
No.
Oh my God, Poppy would literally stick her.
How does that even happen?
Oh my God.
How does that even happen?
I don't even know. Houdini. I used to call her little Houdini with the hands.
When he was older, like, you know how you can unbutton the tops for their arms to come out? Yes. So like before they're fully swaddled like this.
Yes.
And then like around 4 months, we'd wake up and like one arm was out.
Out of the buttons.
Out of the buttons. Okay, yeah, but not a zipper.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But like the buttons he could bust through, and it was like his dominant arm. He just wanted it out
through the middle center part, and her hand would just be like,
oh,
and I was like, no.
Gosh.
And so she did that from the beginning. Like from the beginning, I was doing it tight. I don't know how
when
this
she was
happened.
that tiny.
Yes. Hand Houdini. And so I feel like the Snoo, I think it gets, some people talk about transitioning out of, so the Snoo, for those of you who don't have it or know, it moves along with the baby's whining, crying, whatever. It tries to soothe them back to sleep, and it does that by moving and playing noise, white noise. And so a lot of people were telling me like, oh, how are you going to transition her out of that? Because when she cries in a crib, it's not going to be moving and soothing her.
I was terrified of that.
So I was really scared too. Yeah. How did you do it?
He told me when.
Okay.
Like, I think I told you guys the story. Maybe I didn't. But it was literally, he was just past 6 months, and he was busting out of the Snoo because he's a big baby.
I remember. Yeah.
And I'm like, we could still do it for probably a few more weeks. And like, because I was so terrified of what that transition was going to be and what that meant for me and my sleep, I was like, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm scared. The crib was already set up, and he was already napping in there for maybe a month and a half. Like, easy, no problem.
That's good, yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, he's napping in there. It's not unfamiliar, which is why we were doing it. And then one night, he just woke up in the Snoo crying. And I'm like, what is happening? Because that doesn't happen. And so I'm like, okay, maybe he needs a diaper change. So I walk him to his room, change his diaper. And he knows his room a little at that time. Yeah. He knows this is where we change his diaper, and he could see his crib. So as I'm changing him on his changing table, I see him looking. He's just looking at his crib.
Longingly.
Legit. And I'm like, half asleep. I'm like half asleep, like, what the hell? Like, why are you looking at it? Yeah. And it's like at 2:30 in the morning. So I'm like, do I wake up Henry? Because with sleep, I'm so like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm like, with sleep, I'm like so... It needs to be scheduled. That's the only time that I have like type A personality is like with his sleep. Like I do not want to miss naps. I do not want to change his schedule. Like I'm on it with the sleep. So I'm like, oh my God, I need to wake up Henry and ask him. And I'm like, you know what? He's not going to know the answer. I don't know the answer. I think this kid is telling me he wants to go in there. So I put him in there. Like with no sleep sack, nothing. Because we didn't even have a sleep sack at that time. I just put him in there and he falls asleep.
And he's like, okay,
and I'm like,
so he was awake. You put him down. Is he drowsy or he just like still looking?
In the crib?
In the crib.
He like rustles a little bit and then he just goes to sleep.
Wow.
And I'm watching him from the room now. And I was like, what just happened? Because I'm watching him go to sleep and Henry's still asleep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, he's in the crib. Like it was such like a moment for me. And I'm like, oh my God, do I wake him up? Because like, this is a big thing. Yeah. And like, also, he's going to be pissed that I woke him up. Also.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do I do? I want to celebrate. So I just started texting him. I'm like, babe, oh my God. Because he'll read it when he wakes up.
Because he wakes up early.
He wakes up really, like in 3 hours he was going to wake up because it was like 2:30.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God. And I was just like so pumped that was what I was scared of managing the transition.
And then he
freaking did it on his own.
Yeah.
Like he literally, I swear to God, like he literally was telling me with his eyes, because he's not pointing, and like he's not saying like I want to go in the crib.
He's like,
but he was looking at it, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
had he been in it before? Had he been playing in it?
Right?
Just naps. We wouldn't let him play in the crib. Like, crib is for sleep.
Yes.
Crib is during the day when you have your naps. And at that time, he was still having quite a bit of naps during the day.
Yeah.
So he was definitely familiar with it.
And was the Snoo in your room?
Yeah.
Okay, so he would like wanted his own space almost too, probably.
He was probably so uncomfortable in there because I'm telling you, like he is a big baby and he was busting out, and I'm like, no, we could make it work a few more weeks, because I was scared. And it got to the point to where he was like, no, I'm ready. Like, put me.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So he was in your guys' room for 6 months then?
Yeah,
and
a
then
little
after
over.
that, okay. Because we had the Snoo in our room also. And then I remember one of my friend's moms, who's a doctor, had like come over and she was like, oh, is Poppy still in your room? Poppy was 2 months. And I was like, yeah, like, I don't know when we plan on moving her out, but like it's just easier. She's right next to me. And she was like, sometimes they do sleep better when they're like in their own space. And I was like, I don't know. She's still so little. No, I don't know. And she's like, just try it. Like, I felt like that too. She has 3 kids, and obviously she's a doctor, so I feel like I trusted her, input more. And so I was like, okay, I think I could do it. And so that night we moved the Snoo into her own room.
Oh.
And she slept in her room from 2 months on in her own room
Wow. I didn't even think of doing that. I just thought it was supposed to be bedside.
Yeah.
But
it could be. It was so funny because it's like we had built the crib when I was pregnant, because you build the crib as part of, the welcome home baby, but then they don't sleep in that because they're way too small and they need to be in the bassinet. So I think we took apart the crib, I'm pretty sure. And then, we did, because we needed to make it into a mini crib because it had that option. Yeah. So we made it into the mini crib, and then we put the Snoo in her room, and we were like, whoa, this looks so small, because it's like, so the crib was so huge in here.
Yeah.
And so, she started sleeping in her room at 2 months, and she would only wake up for the feeds, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And the Snoo was great at night, but I feel like the hardest thing was like, she would not nap in the Snoo, really. It was all naps in the swaddle on me. Until, she was around 6 months. And then she stayed in the Snoo, I think, till 5 months, because she's really tall. And so it was just, getting a little uncomfortable for her. And the transition for us was not as bad as I thought it was going to be either. Like, she was totally fine. Towards the end, I think
they really are ready.
Yeah.
Like
it's like a mile, like in their mind, they know. And so it wasn't weird. I think towards the end of the Snoo, too, I kind of was like leaving the motion off every once in a while to just like test it out. But I feel like going into the crib, the thing that I was most scared of, because she was like, around 5 or 6 months, she was like fully rolling over and like all of the getting ready to go into the crawl position. And so I was like, oh no, like what if she can't roll back over? Like I was just getting a little skeptical of like she could.
Did you have a breathable mattress?
Yes. We got the one that's like fully breathable and all that stuff, but I was still stressed. And so I bought this thing that
oh my gosh,
I bought this thing that's like a strap that goes on the bed that like kept her so she was like up. So she wouldn't roll over.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, like you put it all around the mattress, and it's like, I think like Halo makes it or something. And you could like, it's almost like a swaddle that keeps them just like up, just keeps them looking to the ceiling basically. So I got that, and then I also got like when she was in the Snoo, because of the movement, I feel like she had a big old bald spot on the back of her head. Yeah. And so I got the like silk like strap or whatever to put on the back of her head so that her hair would stop falling off. But I feel like there was all these things that were like, oh, this is a solution to this. And the sleep industry is so big, and there's so many things that you could, all the different swaddles. What swaddle do you get if you are swaddling? Weighted, non-weighted, like all the, because you use weighted, I use non-weighted. And it's just like, I feel like it's just so much money that.
So I have a bone to pick with the sleeping industry, because they don't tell you that sometimes putting the baby down drowsy to sleep doesn't work.
Yes.
I remember spending weeks in Saint's dark room and going, okay, I think he had like 5 naps at the time. So, okay, first nap, okay, first nap I would wear him. And then the second nap, I'd be in his room and I'd rock him to sleep and I'd see, okay, everything that they were saying online, all the professionals, other moms were saying. So I'd try drowsy to sleep. Nope. Yep. Okay, next nap. Okay, and then the next nap, I would try, shit, okay, the next nap. Yep. Literally the whole day.
And it never worked.
Nothing worked.
I could just picture his little hands like, no. It's like when they grip you, like, do not put me down.
Or like even when I put him down, like for a second, he'll be like, and then wake up. Like he would, and so none of it worked. And then I learned a term called Velcro baby.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I think he's a Velcro baby, which is a baby that is their
attached
temperament. It is just like attached to you more.
I call Poppy a barnacle baby. Same thing.
Barnacle?
Barnacle. She's like a little barnacle on me.
On you. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. And then I learned the term an orchid child or a live wire.
What's
so
orchid child?
Think of like a daisy, right? A daisy is a flower that can grow anywhere, and it's like a beautiful plant. Santi is a daisy. He has a personality, a temperament. He can go to sleep in the car. You know, if you just put him down, he just like, oh, yeah, okay, mama, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Yeah. Saint is not a daisy. He's an orchid. An orchid is a type of
another flower.
It's a type of flower. If you have an orchid, it's hard to keep it alive. It's hard to keep it happy. But when it is, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is, and then a live wire is another term. And think of like a live wire that's on the floor. You have to approach it with care. You have to be like professional and stuff like that. So I learned that this is the child that Saint is. Yeah. And so reading this book, I swear,
he's the orchid.
He's an orchid. So reading this book made me feel like I am not crazy, because the sleep industry, I hired a sleep consultant. None of the shit that she told me, like none of it worked.
Damn.
And I knew I didn't want to do the cried out method. So she had like a gentler approach. And so we did it. None of it worked. And like I stayed with it. Yeah. None of it worked.
How long did she tell you to like
practice
what
at what age?
Oh yeah.
This was, I want to say like 9 months, 10 months, I want to say. And like it,
so by that point
work.
they like should be ready kind of for like past 6 months.
6 months.
6 months is like
6 months is the sweet spot. But then I also was told that like after 8 months, 7.5 months, it's like they're already used to.
They're already in their groove.
They're too far. They're too used to sleeping with you.
Yeah.
So it's like gonna be harder. Not that it's impossible, but you got to get it in like that sweet spot where they don't really know.
Yeah. But see, you generally for a normal baby, yes.
Yeah.
But not for an orchid child.
Or what is it?
You have a daisy. I have an orchid
daisy,
child. Yeah. They're just different.
I have a poppy.
So
she's in the middle.
You do have a poppy.
She's in the middle of them.
Yeah. So with a live wire, an orchid child, or whatever it is, their temperament is just different. Yeah. Their temperament is the type that they just notice things a little bit more. They're sensitive more to like textures of food. They have more opinions, which makes sense with Saint, because I've been saying since day one, like he's super picky with eating. And then when it comes to sleep, when it comes to learning things, he learns
super quick.
When it comes to learning, they learn earlier. So he was crawling at 6 months. He was walking at 10. He was doing things a lot earlier. So that's like the beauty of it. But the downside is sleep and picky eating is like the biggest thing.
The things you mainly have to deal with.
Yeah. Listening to you say this, I feel like my godson is exactly the same way. Because he is very smart, and like my friend close slept with him the entire time because it was the sleep thing was very, very difficult, which is like seeing her go through that and being the closest person to her for all that newborn time and everything, because her family's on a different coast. Like, I was like scarred, like, oh my God, this is what it's going to be like. Like, I'm so scared, you know? And then Poppy was kind of like that. It was like, I feel like she's halfway in between the two. Like there were times where it was easier for her to nap and stuff. And she would stay in her crib all night. And like, you know, when she'd wake up, I just go and feed her and then she'd go back down. Yeah. But once I stopped the feeding at night, that's when the going back down became harder because I wanted to get her off the bottle at 1, and I, you know, wanted to do all these things before. Like you're saying, sometimes it's better to do it when they're less aware. Yeah. I was worried if I waited, because she is so early on learning stuff, I'm like, she's going to be like, oh, hell no.
They'll notice it.
Exactly.
I need my teta. I don't know what you're doing over there, but I need it, you know? And so I think that like for me, the hardest thing was we spent all this time making sure that she was in her crib, and like, granted, besides naps, great at that. And then we had to transition her to a toddler bed and all of the things that we had been doing.
And at what age was she?
A little over 2.
Yeah.
So
this is like,
well, like, no,
what
2.5, I think. Yeah, it was when we had already started the pod, I feel like, is when I remember starting to, yeah. And so since then, it's been, last night was the first night. I don't even know how many days it's been. It's probably been 2 months. The first night she slept in her bed all night in probably 2 months. Wow. Because, and even Drew and I still woke up. We both woke up at like 5:30 and we're just looking at each other. We're like, she's not in here. Okay. But then both of us couldn't sleep. And I'm like, oh my God, do we miss her coming in?
No, it's because your clock is already used to her, her waking you up at that time.
And because it was like, she doesn't wake up at 5:30. She wakes up at 7. But because usually she comes in around 3, that around that time we're used to like kind of like, you know, moving around. And this has been our solution, which is going to sound crazy to anybody listening because it would have been crazy to me. But our solution, because she does come in at night and Drew is a light sleeper just like I am, we were going through all the different things like, do we get a king size bed? Because right now we have a queen size bed. Do we get her a bigger bed so that I can then go in there so that she stays down and like, you know, and then we end up sleeping in different beds, I guess, like who knows? And so our solution was we got a twin size mattress and Drew puts it by our bed on his side of the bed.
And she would hop in there?
No, he does. So
my God.
I'll just roll over.
So she gets in bed and he just rolls over.
Yeah, he rolls over onto the twin mattress floor bed. And so the minute he hears her like running down the hallway because she's scared of the dark, so she runs.
Oh, that's so cute.
But I'm like, I don't want to put a nightlight because I don't want to invite you over here. You need to stay in your own bed. So every time he hears a then I feel him just literally and he just rolls over.
That's hilarious.
And then I'm like,
that's a dad thing though. Yeah. Shout out the dads. That's a big dad role.
I didn't think we'd ever get to a point where we didn't really hear her come in. But then after I would say like about a month, I was like I'd wake up like, oh, she didn't come in. And then I look next to me and it's Poppy. I'm like, oh, when did that happen? I don't know when that happened. Yeah. And so now we're kind of like used to it. And so I've been trying every night. We need to get our hatch fixed because a lot of people do this with their hatch where they turn the color on the hatch red until the baby can get up out of bed and then it turns green. And our hatch isn't working for some reason. But my solution has been a sticker chart because that's how we potty trained her. And so I'm like, okay, you have a sleep chart. And I drew little clouds as like the places where the stickers go. And I told her because she's been asking for a dentist kit. And so I told her, you fill 2 rows of this, you'll get a dentist kit. And then you fill another 2 rows, you get whatever you want, literally whatever you want. And so now she's been like, okay, she also gets a surprise cookie in the morning if she does that too. So she gets a surprise cookie as the instant gratification. And then in the long run, if she does multiple nights, then she'll get like a bigger surprise. And so last night was the first sticker on the sticker chart.
Wow.
And she
got a cookie this morning?
She got a cookie. She got 2 cookies because we were like really ecstatic about it. And so she came in at like 6, almost closer to 7. And she looks at me and I'm like, baby, you slept in your bed all night. And she's like, I'm going to go get my surprise cookie. And I'm like, yay. And so I'm like, you keep on doing this. You'll keep getting it. And so I am just like,
we're going to need an update. Yeah. If she sticks with it.
Yes.
I mean, if you want those cookies, that's a good incentive though.
Yeah.
And at this age, that's the language that they know.
Because she doesn't get cookies throughout the day at all. So it's like, this is the one special thing that you can get. And the sticker on top of that. And then you can get a bigger surprise.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm sold.
So cool.
I want to do it.
Yeah. Okay, can we just stop and just talk about how dope this recording studio is? I feel like everyone hits me about like where it's at, how cool it is, what's the situation. It's called Project Studios in Monterey Park.
Everything is here. And the staff does everything for you as well. The editing, the producing, the lighting.
The cameras.
Everything. We need that good lighting. Yeah. We got it here.
And you could create such dope content here. Like downstairs is a full production area that literally is like for music videos, big scale productions. And next door they even have a place where like you can do flat lays if you sell clothing, jewelry, whatever you sell. It's like professional level studio next door that you can use.
And it's only 9 minutes from downtown LA. And there's parking here in LA. It's so annoying to find parking. And I know that was a big thing when we were looking for podcast space was where in LA that we can all park and feel safe and feel comfortable. Yes. And that is here. Make sure to follow them on Instagram so you can see more of all the fun stuff they do at Project LA. And you can schedule a creative consultation at projectstudios.com.
Tell them we sent you.
Through these conversations about sleep, like I really, really want the mom listening that feels crazy,
Yep.
the mom listening that gets like all the shame from like other parents, and the mom that feels like she's going crazy, like you're not crazy.
You're not. And I know you co-sleep and sharing your experience, and we don't. But like I've gotten shame for sleep training. And how can you let your baby cry? Like, it's a baby. And he's going to cry for millions of reasons, not just sleep. And are you going to tend and be there for your baby all the time? Like, I can go on and on of the, hate that I get for sleep training. And we didn't do the cry out method because that was excessive for, what I could handle. We did the Ferber method. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. I followed Taking Care of Babies, and she does a version of the Ferber method.
Right.
Which we also did.
You can still go in there, check in on baby when they're crying.
Was it
soothe them.
1 minute, 2 minutes, or 4
minutes?
You
you keep extending the intervals.
And you're in a chair in the room? Is that
I didn't do the chair. That's a different method. Oh. I didn't do the chair method, but the chair method is where you stay in there. So they see you. And then you pull the chair further, closer to the door until you're out. I didn't do that.
Yeah,
that just seemed I don't know about putting a chair in there.
Yeah.
Because then I didn't want him to think she's just going to pull up a chair and
she's going to sit in here and watch me sleep every night.
Yeah. But no, we didn't. Yeah, the Ferber, which you don't let them cry it out, but you let them learn. And for me, I don't know about for you, but I have loved that we did sleep training because it has taught him independence. It has taught him that he is safe in his crib. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing for me. I want you to feel safe in your room. Mm-hmm. Because I was a co-sleeper baby. I never felt safe in my room.
Me too.
I was always scared of being in my room, of being in my bed by myself.
I still am sometimes.
Oh my gosh,
when
Kristine.
Drew leaves to go travel, I'm like, oh Lord, I'll go stay at my mom's. Nope. Yes, I am. Yeah. And I was a co-sleep baby
till what
too.
Age?
Go stay at my mom's?
No.
Still now. Oh.
No, till what age until you started sleeping in your own bed?
Well, my mom got married, so then I was technically supposed to be in my own bed, but I would still go into their room almost every night. And I
till
would
what
still,
age?
I mean, in high school, I would still go in there.
Wow.
Damn. In high school, I'd be like, I had a bad dream.
So I think this is the reason for me why it was so important to sleep train, because I knew how attached I was to sleeping with my mom and kicking my dad out. I'd be like, I don't care. The bed's not big enough. You got to go to my room. And my dad would have to go sleep in my room. And that was such a big thing for me. I told Henry we're not co-sleeping because I was stuck. I was glued to my mom. My mom and sleeping with her. And to the point. Yeah. To the point where I literally had to be touching her, or I would touch her foot. My foot had to be touching her foot. I had to know that she was there. I remember
you were in high school too, huh?
No, I wasn't in high school. I was in 7th grade. Okay. And I remember
it was every night until 7th grade.
Every night. Oh. But I remember it happened not because my parents teaching me you need to sleep in your own room. It wasn't that. I was at school and I started being friends with the popular girls, which I wasn't friends with popular girls before that. I was super loner child. And when I started being friends with them, I would hear their conversations and they slept in their own rooms. And I remember going to their house and they had bed sheets that were I don't know, whatever the fuck they were into, right? Cute, super cutesy. I didn't have any of that because I didn't like being in my room. I didn't like my bed. I didn't decorate it. I didn't do any of that stuff. I'm not going to be in there. If anything, I was in my sister's room and I go to sleep with my mom. Yeah. So I was they really hang out in their rooms. This is their space. And I'm I gotta get in my room. Yeah. I have to make it my space. And that's what changed. Yes.
Wow. Would you start the night in your mom's bed already? Or you would go in?
No, I wouldn't even start the night in my bed. No, I would not. No, I would not be in there.
See, I would go into my mom's room. Well, one, because my mom was a single mom. We slept together because, why not, you know? And then once she got married, she would tell me, yes, you have to sleep. Even before she got married and she was a single mom, when we lived at my grandparents' house, I remember my grandma coming in and saying, you have to sleep in your own bed. And, she would tell me about, picturing butterflies and rainbows and all these happy things so I wouldn't be scared, because I was always scared. And then I would go in, so I would still go into her room. And then when she got married, I would only go in when I had bad dreams, which I have still till this day, pretty bad dreams at night. And so that's usually when I wake up scared. And so I just feel like it was not every night. I wouldn't start the night in there.
No, for me, it was
in the middle of
every
the
night.
Okay.
I would never sleep in my bed.
Oh,
Didn't want to sleep in my bed until this happened.
Yeah.
And then I told my parents, like, I'm ready to sleep in
I
my
need to be a big girl now.
Yeah, and I was like, because I had to be cool. So I had to be a cool girl. And also, I'm like, how am I going to have my friends over? And, like, I haven't done anything with my room. I have no decorations. Like, it wasn't, I didn't care about it, right?
Wow.
So then I'm like, can I paint my room? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, can I get a new bed? They're like, yeah.
Your dad's over here like, finally, 7th
So
grade.
I remember, like, they got me the bed that I wanted. They let me paint it. They let me do things in it. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, now I'm a big girl.
So many people do that with toddlers. Like, that's what I say with toddlers.
Exactly.
They're like, redecorate the room.
Yeah.
Make them feel like it's their own so that they'll stay there. Oh my God, I'm dying.
I was a
That's
toddler
so
in
amazing.
7th grade.
So, okay, so then at night you'd put like your pajama. This is before you shifted. Right?
Yeah.
You'd put your pajama on and then, okay, good night, mom and dad, to your parents' bed.
Yeah, because
Even
my
if they're
dad
out.
would stay up later anyway. So like when
So
everyone
he was
went,
like watching TV.
right, he'd be like watching TV, and me and my mom are like good night, and we just go to bed together.
Oh, together. So your mom would go to sleep at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, could you ever go to sleep without your mom in the bed? Or
No,
like, she
no,
had
I
to be-
needed to feel her.
What about like
wow.
sleepovers? Did you have sleepovers before then?
I was also terrified. Like people would come sleep over at our house, but again, I'm scared of everything.
But what would you be scared
Where
of?
would they sleep?
of at that point? I'd be scared of like monsters or like whatever. Like now, I'm not scared of monsters.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yes,
But I'm just like a scaredy cat at the end
Me
of the day.
too.
So like I didn't want to go to sleepovers, and like there was times where I went to sleepovers because my sister was also going. But then I'd be like, I'm scared, and I'd call my dad, and he'd go pick me up, and I wouldn't spend the night.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
But
about
I think a lot of that was the lack of sleep training because again they didn't know about it back then.
Yeah.
And I was just so adamant about I'm scared. I need to sleep with mom.
Yeah.
When people would come and sleep at your house and you would go and sleep with your mom, where would your friends sleep?
Well, my sister had a trundle. So, like, it was the bed that pulled out. So, like, when cousins would come over, we'd all sleep in there together. So, I'm never sleeping alone.
Okay, got it. It was you could be touching your sister with
Exactly.
your foot. Okay, got it.
And she'd get so annoyed. Yeah. I'm like,
I
too
can
bad.
picture your sister being like,
Yeah. She's like, don't
Hold
touch
on,
me.
get closer to me,
I'm like,
get
I don't
closer.
care. Yeah. I'd literally be like this. Touch my pata. I don't care. Like, anything.
I bought that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
So
funny.
for me,
Oh my gosh.
the co-sleep was like, no,
Not even an
we are
option.
not doing it because I freaking know. And Henry was like, I was a co-sleeper too because he's also the baby in his family. But because he's a boy, his dynamic in his family was a little different. So it was kind of like, you're a boy. You have to like go sleep by yourself. So he's like, I was forced out. And at that time, it's like harder too because you're like, you understand. And it's like, oh, but because I'm a boy, I have to go. So he's like, if we could avoid, avoid doing all that and just getting him used to sleeping, his safe space, and like he's used to it.
Yeah.
We got to do that. I'm like, we have to.
And I feel like they'll go through phases also with the safe space stuff because as they get older, like Poppy does bring up monsters sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes she knows that she's saying it even though she doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like she'll be like, make like a funny face and be like, I'm scared there's a monster. You know? And I'm like, no, you're not.
She's so cutesy girly.
She is. I'm like, to you, monsters is Monsters Inc. And are they really scary? So then I'll tell her like, monsters are silly, you know? And then she'll be like, yeah, Sully's funny, you know? And I try to turn it into that because she will look at the closet. She will reference the Monsters Inc. movie. And I'm like, no, remember, it's like, they just want to make you laugh. And so I try to like turn it because I know that she is a little scared of the dark. Being in there by herself, she is a little scared of the monsters thing. Yeah. And I know that as she gets older and she like watches different things, there are going to be things that like make her a little scared to like be in her own space. Yeah. But I think the hatch helps with the nightlight thing. Like she definitely likes that, but she doesn't need it or rely on it. Like when she's at my mom has it pitch black in there and she's totally fine going down that way. Nice. But I feel like, I'm prepared for the like phases to start where it's like sometimes they are going to have bad dreams. And like as of now, I think she wakes up and she comes to us because she's cold or because she's scared. And I don't know what it is every time, you know? Yeah. But I feel like, damn, we really spent all this time trying to keep her in her own room. Yeah. And then we have no other choice now, you know?
Saying that also scares me because we are going to have to transition him out of his crib. Yeah. And I'm like, he is such a good sleeper now, but is that going to stay the same? Oh my God. When he has the freedom to like get up and walk out the door, I'm like terrified. Because he could just waltz on in here.
Yep. He can.
Yeah. He's like, Mom. Why aren't you, like, why am I over there and you're over here with Dad? Like,
you know what's weird is, so Saint, like I mentioned, he takes his naps in his bed, right? So it's a floor bed, twin size mattress. When he wakes up from his nap, he doesn't leave his bed. Like, he stays in his bed. He'll just be like, Mama, Mama. And he'll just keep calling me until I get in there. Yeah. And for him, it's a certain permission. Then he'll get out of his bed. And we also have a gate at his door, too. So even if, like, the gate's always closed, so the door's open, he can't come out.
It's like a toddler gate?
Toddler gate, yeah. So
they have those things on the knob where you put them inside and, like, they can't turn it, but you can turn it. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah, but our doorknobs aren't circle. Oh, they're fancy ass.
Is he upstairs?
Yeah, so that was another thing. Yeah. So, our rooms are pretty far from each other. So I think I would even be a little nervous leaving that gate open for him to walk.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's just a long way. My office is in between and there's no door. And then also right in between is the stairs. Yeah. So we do keep the gate closed, but I'm still paranoid. Yeah. Because sometimes he even likes like to shake the gate and I'm like, no. Don't do that. Yeah. So I'm still, I don't know how that's going to be.
I think with the stairs, it's like one of my girlfriends whose daughter's 9 months older. She always tells her like, it's not safe for you to get out of your bed because they were upstairs in their old house. And I've tried telling Poppy that, but I feel like when you have a house with stairs, it's a little bit more believable. Like I tried telling her, it's not safe for you to run around in the house by yourself. You can't see what's in the way, you know. But I feel like with stairs, it's like it's not safe for you to run past the stairs, and maybe that could be like what implements him to like stay in there at night, you know. Yeah, I'm hoping so. But yeah, I feel like it's a constant. They're constantly going through phases, as we know from like newborn. Yeah. To forever, I think. And so it's like
lucky us.
Forever, literally. So I feel like it's you know, I keep on thinking of the moments when I'm like how she didn't come in last night. I'm like, oh my gosh, my body like missed her even though I wasn't thinking about it, you know. And is this, I know that 5 years from now, when hopefully she isn't in 7th grade sleeping on her bed, but if she is like if she comes in every once in a while, I'm sure we're gonna be like, oh, okay, like we missed this. Because
I think there's also an element for me, at least, or what I'm telling myself, is that I'm also building a healthy attachment style.
Yes.
With him too.
Yes.
And so that's something that I'm feeling like. I feel like, okay, in the long run, at least I know that is okay. That's good for him.
And for me, the not co-sleeping, I was like, I still want to cuddle with him though. Like I still want those moments. So like in the morning, he comes with me for an hour. And like
cuddles.
Most mornings, like some mornings I can't, like when we are here recording or like if I have things to do or a call, like we can't. But like even Henry knows, like Henry will get him out, give him a smoothie, and then bring him to me. Yeah. And like we cuddle for an hour. But now that he's just becoming more of a toddler and
he's like no, he doesn't want to like
1,000%. I'm like, this is already happening. Yep. Like I get 10 minutes maybe now. I'm like, what? No, this is only 10 minutes. Like you need to cuddle with me, and I'll be like cuddling, kissing. He's like, meh. Like he's trying to get off the bed. He's like ready to walk, and I'm like, all right, go play.
Great. I know. I also like stay sleeping, and then Poppy will. Sometimes, you know, after she comes in, then Drew will like give her a little bit of food, and then she'll come back in. Yeah. And then she'll be like, Mommy, can we watch something? And on the days where I don't have something, I'm like, okay, let's watch a little something together and cuddle, because that's the only way to keep her in the bed. Yeah. Other than that, she's like in the living room with Drew, and she's like playing and, you know, but in the morning, if I want to like cuddle in the bed with her, it's like we can watch something together. Other than that, she's like, what are we doing? Yes. We have a TV in our room because of me.
Same.
I'd be watching my shows at night for like 3 to 4 hours.
Same. So like I'll change him to get ready for nighttime in our bed, in our room. And like sometimes, and I've been doing this the last few weeks because he doesn't want to he doesn't want to cuddle with me in the morning. I'm like, fine, then I'm going to get it at night when you're like nice and calm and like ready to go to sleep. But like I'll put on Miss Rachel, and like I'll put him in between me and like my legs, and I just cuddle, and he's just rubbing my legs. And it's so cute. He's just rubbing my legs, and I'm like, oh, I love this.
But so some of the times now that she does come in with the nighttime shows, a few times she has come in, because sometimes I'll stay up till like a little past midnight, and sometimes at midnight she either comes in at midnight or 3, and at midnight she comes in the room, and I'm still like watching TV, you know, with my little headphones on, and then I'm like, I see her out of the corner of my eye, like, oh, and then I'm like, and then I don't know what to do because she's kind of like, oh, the TV's so bright.
Yeah.
So I just like immediately turn it off, and then I grab her, and then I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
You know? And then
I
Drew
guess
rolls
it's
off and
bedtime.
And
Goodbye, Drew.
She says, Mommy, when I come, Daddy leaves.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
he does
Bye-bye,
because
Dada.
we're
Bye,
both
Dad.
light sleepers. It's hard, you know?
So many things on sleep, and I feel like this is such a interchanging subject
Yes.
based on age.
Yeah.
So like we could probably do a sleep episode every so often.
Oh my God.
Like a
Part
check-in.
two. Yeah.
Like a
should.
check-in sleep
Yep.
episode to where the babies are.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is Poppy still kicking Drew out? How is Saint doing in his toddler bed?
Yes.
Is Santi out of the crib? Like we
Yeah.
need to do a
We
a
will,
part
two.
for
two
sure.
to sleep. But our next episode is generational trauma,
Ooh-wee.
which is going to be
Gosh.
heavy.
Yes.
Deep stuff.
What from our trauma are we bringing into our parenthood? Changing.
Yep. What have we healed? What are we
Right.
still healing?
Yeah.
And what have, because for me, there have been things that I didn't even know was a generational trauma until I became a mom. And I'm like, wait a second.
Yep.
Hold up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hold
So,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get into all that fun stuff next episode.
Yay.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Nightclubs to Nightfeeds. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we are, of course, always continuing the conversation on our social media. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Nightclubs to Nightfeeds. That's at Nightclubs, the number 2, and then Nightfeeds. Make sure to follow us and let us know if there's a topic you want us to cover. Can't wait to chat next time.